back to Double Trouble. This is me, Jemima Rodrigues, and with me I have Smriti Mandana.
खुद ही कर लेती हूँ.
Yeah, as you say, ना जब कोई नहीं करता तो खुद करने का.
Yeah, you should not depend on
It's okay,
people.
it's okay, Smriti. I'll give you one clap. Welcome. So Smriti, like many people know about, okay, cricketers, they get to travel the world, move around, but nobody actually knows like what we actually face as cricketers. You're traveling around the world and everything is fine. We really enjoy it, but there are also some struggles like, missing family, missing ghar ka khana. So like,
Yeah, that's
I think
the
it's
main
good
thing.
we discuss about it today, right?
Yeah, I think people don't know what happens in our tour life, like जो off the field होता है, in our rooms, hotel rooms, and when we go out to eat together. Yeah, I think like our Indian team has become our second family. Like we spend more time with them throughout the year, and it's just so much of fun which we have. Like शायद I don't know, मुझे लगता भी नहीं कि लोगों को पता है कि what all stupid things we do on tours, and how do we eat food, and like how do we fight over our orders, like you remember, Jemmy, like
yeah, I remember in West Indies, like for the first 2 days, we're like, हाँ ठीक है, means their food is like pizza, burgers, and all. Arey wow, pizza, burger. But after 2 days, we were so tired, so fed up. We're like, Indian restaurant, de do bhaiya, please. Like we literally went and asked them, can you make some Indian food like rice, dal, like the simple stuff. So I think, yeah, and remember how we used to order in rooms?
Yeah, and I think Antigua and we were in Guyana, and there was only one Indian restaurant or two Indian restaurants, I think, in the whole place. And then we used to like call them up, and they used to like, yeah, ma'am, we'll deliver. And they used to take like 1.5 hours, and then we have just come off practice, and then we all are like just waiting on the door, like kab aayega.
And I remember we had planned also one day, remember Smriti? Means practice got over fast. Feel like we'll do a thing ground se mangayenge because it just take half an hour to reach the hotel. Well, chalo, food will come by the time we reach. And that day it became 2.5 hours late. I'm like, अरे यार ये क्या है?
He was saying कि आपने order किया, फिर दूसरी team का member ने order किया, then तीसरी like our team also like we're like some other people were ordering also ना, so they were like they ordered after an hour. तो वो बोला मैं 2 चक्कर क्यों मारूंगा, मैं 1 चक्कर में लाके दूंगा. और मुझे भैया हमने इतना strategy बना के आपको order किया जब ground से निकले, and you're getting food after 2.5 hours.
True, but after that actually good had happened because then we started ordering together.
Yeah,
remember?
Together, yes.
And we used to eat together. In anybody's room, we should pick up a room and all of us, like the whole team, used to sit on the
my
floor.
room mostly. I remember because I used to send you photos, na ki guys, girls, you've done this dirty. At least clean it.
Yeah, we used to never clean a room.
Yeah, and the worst part of Jimmy is that we used to end up ordering for everyone. And अगर खाना अच्छा नहीं बना तो they used to be like, they used to feel कि हमने ही बनाया है, and then they used to start, अपने को कितनी डांट पड़ती थी यार. They used to like कि क्या है ये खाना, ये कम आया, वो कम आया, and I used to like हम order करें यार एक तो.
We got so fed up after us. We're like, एक काम करो, ये लो phone, आप लोग ही order करो. नहीं, you all are doing a good job.
Yeah. But yeah, you all are like sitting down on floor, eating together.
And we used to not have plates, remember?
Yeah, because the room
like it used to take a lot of time. Yeah. So we used to have that small lid. In that lid, we used to like literally eat because we were so hungry. We couldn't wait for the plates. So yeah. But I think that is what has got us bonding together. And as you said, I totally agree. It's like, our second family, the Indian team.
Yeah.
And that is the best part,
And I think in this whole time, I think more than anything, I really miss being on tour is because of this fun and the fun what we have together. One person is down, everyone is in their room just to, motivate her or just feel good, encourage her. Now I don't think अपने साथ होता है ना कि यार शक्ल देख के बोर हो गया. I don't think I'll be telling this, like in the
you
whole.
You take it for granted. No, I think that is what a team is all about, like bonding together. As you said, when somebody is low, like I've seen this so many times happening, like they go, they encourage them, try to make them laugh. And otherwise, if you're missing home, you understand. Or food, for example. Like, okay, we have to order bhindi today because everybody loves bhindi. That's the best part.
We fight so much for bhindi, right? Like,
we fight a lot for bhindi.
अगर अच्छी भिंडी की सब्जी है घर की, I think even if you order 3 or 4 भिंडी की सब्जी in like 10 or 12 girls, still we end up like eating it all, and then अरे यार भिंडी बची नहीं यार.
And worst is like both vegetarians and non-vegetarians both love bhindis. So the non-vegetarians get very little bhindi because they're like, hey, तुम लोग का chicken खाओ. Like that they are. हम लोग का bhindi. I'm like, अरे नहीं, we also ordered and all that. But it's fun, and like I really love it.
Chili dry, bhindi, and some chicken starter. These 3 things are always in demand.
Always fixed. Tour life is so much fun, and I'm actually missing it right now because we are not used to this. Can't wait to get back on the field, get back with the Indian team. But it's time that we invite our guest on the show, 23-time world champion in snooker and billiards. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Pankaj Advani. Woo! Become Punks on this show. So, guys, he's given me the permission to call him Punks. That's so cool, right? Yo, Punks, what's up?
Perfect. I must tell you, after ages, I've worn a proper shirt, so I can actually just put my collar.
He also told me his nickname is also Champ, right?
Some people call me.
Yeah. And
I was another nickname, Jamie. Our insiders have told something our mom also calls.
Mom calls him Punks and pressure cooker. Means Punks समझ में आता है, ठीक है, school and all, but what's with pressure cooker?
Pressure cooker, why? Na? Abhi, as sports persons, you all know that under pressure we have so many situations. Na? Kabhi, sometimes you're down in a game, you have to come back, or you have to hold your nerve. Very important shot, very important part of the match. So normally, actually, I don't know how, but my psychology is reverse. कि जब भी मैं down होता हूँ तो ज़्यादा अच्छा खेलता हूँ. So that's why my mom said you cook very well under pressure. I'm calling you pressure cooker from now.
Nice.
Too long though. But
PC
we'll shorten it. PC. Pressure cooker PC. Yeah.
No, but
making me sound like Priyanka Chopra, but it's okay.
Yeah, so I have met you for the first time here. Means like not met, but on this call. But I have heard a story. Like not many know about this story. How you and Smriti met, or like something had happened that time. Can you tell us like what exactly happened?
So you want
no, nothing happened. I have met him in the Stardust award function at Dubai. And
but before that, what happened?
Before that, you don't want to mention us, but now that Jamie has asked, I think I must share with all the viewers how, in what situation we met. So we had a very early morning flight from Bangalore to Dubai for the awards function. And I went and I was expecting at some stage to bump into Smriti, whether in the check-in counter, whether through security check or on the plane or in the lounge somewhere. And I kept looking for her because I need some company so early in the morning. I don't get much sleep on flights. And then I get a call right when I'm checking in saying that Smriti can't come, she's missed her flight. She's forgotten her passport. Now you tell me, this girl who travels to England, Australia and all over the world to play matches has to go internationally and she says, I don't have my passport.
Smriti, what were you thinking? You're just taking your name, hi, I'm Smriti Mandana, and they're going to allow you on the flight. What were you thinking that?
Yeah, these kids, I tell you nowadays.
I know, nowadays.
Actually,
kids, oh my God.
And I actually didn't realize only, Dubai mein, you need a passport because I was like going to like all these domestic places like just random with Aadhaar card. The worst part was, I went to the security check. I was showing my ticket, like passport. Passport kyun chahiye aapko? They're like, madam, Dubai jana hai na? I'm like, oh shit.
If I had forgot my passport, nothing. Bas ghar jao wapas.
I ended up reaching the award function before, like I think half an hour before the function started. So I did well to manage to get there.
You did well, no? The people managing you did well.
No, actually what happened, I woke up my dad 4 o'clock in the morning, told him to get the passport to Pune.
Oh.
And then they booked a flight from Bangalore to Pune and 3 hours later flight to Dubai. And in that 3 hours I came off the airport, I met my dad. I took the passport. I spoke to him for half an hour, 1 hour because I had not met him also for almost a month, something like that. And then I traveled to Dubai. So that was the whole khichdi about it. First time this has happened on the show that she's got a partner. Otherwise, it's always me with a guest versus Jamie. So yeah, but I think coming back to this questions, I think what is like your lockdown routine at the moment, and because I think you have a bit of advantage over other athletes because yours is like an indoor sport, like you can play billiards at home, and we can't literally bat at home. So what is your lockdown routine? Has it changed anything to you in regards to your sport?
As far as staying indoors is concerned, it's the same. But I have absolutely no access to the game. I have my cue lying at home, so I just take it out from the case, I clean it, and I put it back in the case. That's all I do once. Besides, nothing to do with the game at all.
Okay.
So of course it's changed because there's no competition. There's no practice whatsoever. But I just feel that it's a time to learn something new because we're so used to traveling, these
Right.
sports persons, or living off a suitcase, training, competing, meeting our competitors, all of that. But now it's a great time to spend quality time with family, bond with our folks, learn something new. It could be anything. I'm just following a little bit of the stock markets these days, a little bit, just to see maybe. I still don't understand half of it. Don't expect to also in the near future.
Like 23 times world championship. Like you won. So, for us, it's all, okay, 23 times world championship, this and that. But only like what it took to get there or to get to that level. So, can you explain to us, like, how did you reach to that level, that standard? Because nobody knows the struggles. Everybody thinks it's easy, it's a piece of cake, but that's not the truth. So, yeah.
I mean, it's been a long journey. The best part is that I started very early in my life. So at the age of 11, I picked up the cue for the first time. I went to the club. I found my coach within the first 1 year, Arvind Sabur. My brother Shri introduced me to the sport. Now he plays a different role. He's a mind coach. So he trains me, with how to handle stress, anxiety, pressure of performance. So fortunately, I've always got a good bunch of people. My mom supported me. She says, as long as your grades don't suffer in school, you don't fail on a talent, obviously. Not that I was a 90% student, 75, 80 was good for me.
That is best.
Yeah, and I think Bangalore has that tradition, right? That everyone's so intellectual and intelligent, like in that part of world. I feel I don't.
But we don't show off. There are other cities where they are very intelligent. Actually, they're not.
Yeah, that's why before we could start, you said your nickname is Champ, right? Correct.
Now I have started taking my cue. So anyway, then after that I quickly changing the topic. I went to my club and I started achieving early in my life, and I think that gave me a lot of confidence. If I can do this, then I can go further. So, for example, I won my first state title at the age of 14.
Wow.
First junior national title at the age of 14. I reached the semis and finals of international tournaments, the Asian Championships, the World Junior Championships at the age of 16. And by 18, I had already won my first world title at the senior level. So, I just feel that, there's nothing sweeter than success. There's nothing more confidence boosting than being successful. But how do you get there? I feel that it's a matter of self-belief. Because you have to dream big. And I'm sure you girls know that. And I know that there will be a day where you will come back with that trophy,
Amen.
A lot of people say, hard work. I don't believe in that. I believe, yes, you must be disciplined, but you must work smart instead of working hard. I don't follow, too much of cricket, but I love Dhoni because he plays according to the situation. And that's why he's so successful. He's won so many titles, whether it's IPL or, the World Cups. So once you have a good understanding of where you are, of your strengths, weaknesses, you analyze all that, then you can just concentrate and do quality practice. So for now, what I do is of course, when the lockdown gets over and I start practicing, it's not like I'm going to play 8 hours a day. I will still play that maybe 3-4 hours of practice, but it'll be quality. It'll be directed towards certain things, maybe just getting my basics right for the start because I've not touched the cube so long. And then go to slightly more complex exercises. Deal with the situations which I would get in a match. Replicate them, simulate them. That's how you understand and you grow as a player. But you always have to keep learning something every day. Otherwise, you'll remain stagnant.
You were in Gulf and, the war broke out. And then, can you explain to us, like, what exactly happened? Like, many people don't know, like, exactly what you went through. And even losing your father at a very young age. So, like, what is that like?
Yeah, so the first 5 years of my life, from 1985 to 90, we were in Kuwait. And of course, before that also, my parents were in Kuwait and Shri. And we were in the US on a holiday. So what happened was that while returning from the US, just before we took our flight, the Gulf War broke out in Iraq, invaded Kuwait. All the airports in the Middle East were shut. So we were stranded. So we took the flight, however, but we were stuck in between. We were stuck in Belgrade Airport. And we were there for a few days. We had no money at that time. Luckily, my mom's cousin actually wired some money. We got out of that problem. Then we came to India straight. In fact, we went to Mumbai first. Where my dad's relatives, mom's relatives and all were there. Stayed with them. Came to Bangalore for a few days where dad's sister was here. And dad immediately fell in love with Bangalore because of the weather. And the weather being the main reason, we actually, shifted base to Bangalore. And then what happened was that when Dad went back, because for a year we couldn't go back to Kuwait, everything was shut and the war and stuff. But when he went back, he saw a lot of things had been stolen. Our car had been stolen over there and everything. And after he returned to India from Kuwait, his health deteriorated. And they say that because of the chemicals that were used during the war and all, may have gone into his system and caused a lot of health problems. So he passed away in 92. It was very tough for my mom, brother, and especially my mom, because she was also a working woman. And she decided after that, I'm going to take care of my two sons and raise them and bring them up full time. I'm not going to work. So we had a few, financial struggles initially before things could look up and, we get a compensation from. I've never seen a stronger woman, a more positive woman, a very intelligent woman also, because see, when you have to handle all the finances and everything of the house, the home, and all the affairs, because we were too young to do it at that time, she really single-handedly, took us through, and then, she said, I'm going to make my two kids like, good boys, great boys, and do what's best for them.
And now you have made us so proud.
Yeah.
Right.
And she has a huge part to play in my success. I always say.
Yeah, definitely.
But even I have a small part too.
Yeah, but you don't show off. Like, we know that.
I just don't.
Not at all.
No show off.
But I think coming back to the World Championship, we have won so many trophies. But which is the one special one? Like there's always like for us, whenever we win a World Cup, I think that would be the most special trophy we've ever won. So for you, what is the one trophy which you feel that okay, this is the best among all?
I think it has to be the first world title that I won. I was 18 years old. I went there as a nobody. Nobody expected me to win. Nobody gave me a chance to win. It was my debut at the IBSF World Snooker Championship. And I was surviving on pizzas and packet foods. I didn't know what was happening over there, as far as diet was concerned. And there was a group of 10, 11 players, and only the top 4 qualified, like how you have your round robin matches in World Cups. Similarly, our initial group stage was only of 10, 11, after which 4 players go to the knockouts. And then we have round of 32, 16, quarter, semis, and finals. So it was a long tournament. And I remember that after qualifying as number 3, because I still lost 2 matches and qualified, I was almost out of the round of 32 and 16. And both of those games I won 5-4, 5-4. Being down 4-1 and 3-0. And I got a fluke also, the word fluke is invented through billiards, because if you try something, you get something else and you still get the shot.
That's me every time I play snooker, like fluke.
Maybe hota hai na, now you swing the bat, instead of for a boundary.
Yeah.
You get it a lot.
I want to hit straight and it goes to over mid on or mid wicket, and then I say also, अरे यार मारना इधर तो चला गया, 4 चला गया, मुझे क्या करना है?
So then after those flukes, it was destiny. I think I went on to win the world title, beating a Pakistani player in the final. And I clearly remember it was October the 25th, 2003, which also happened to be Diwali. So I remember that there were firecrackers being lit, and I also said that it was the Diwali gift to the nation. And I didn't even realize how big it was, the magnitude of the achievement and what I had done. Until I came to India and I got a grand reception, on a motorcade in the open jeep. People took me to my club, and then we cut cakes, and I started getting calls, and then, like 10 different cities.
Yeah, correct.
And then luckily I didn't have to travel abroad, so I didn't forget my passport.
Yeah.
I think the whole episode I'm gone now.
Today it's double trouble with punks and jamming.
You're a vegetarian, and how do you manage in South Asian countries? Because we don't travel there much. Like we only have like 8 countries which play cricket, so we just travel mostly there. So how do you manage? I remember Malaysia was a bit tough in Asia Cup, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you something about me I don't think many people know, except those who I travel with. Right, and I think this is something that maybe the viewers will be seeing for the first time. So when I go to the Western countries, like your whether it's New Zealand, Australia, England, for us, UK and Europe is big in the sport. I always go with a sad face. I love those places; they're beautiful, all of that. But I know there's one thing that's not there in the toilet, and that's the health faucet. You know how we Indians are. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to elaborate.
We can understand.
true.
It's a little
We
bit.
can understand. We feel the same.
Yeah, so when I go to a Southeast Asian country, I'm very happy because I know you will get that health cost. So cleaning is not a problem. I can go to the loo 2 times a day also if I have to. Normally I go once. Now that I want to share with you. But the diet is a little difficult. Like in countries like China especially, or Korea also, I'm vegetarian. Smriti, you're also veg, right?
Yeah, I'm vegetarian. I eat eggs, but yeah, only eggs.
So I don't even eat eggs, not even in cakes,
Okay.
nothing. And for me,
Oh.
it is very, very difficult to manage. So that's why I said that many times, like even if I've gone to a country like Malta, for example, near Italy, or Malaysia also, for that matter, China definitely. I am living on pizzas and things that I would not like to have every day. I mean, I'd love a pizza at some point, but not every day.
Every day, right?
You know, you
So
miss
do
your
you carry a pressure cooker, like a small cooker, electric cooker, which you
I
can
have
cook
a
rice
pressure
on? I used to carry it for like first few tours, like till like now it's very easy because so many Indian options are already in like are open in England, Australia, and all other places. But I used to carry a small like cooker so I can at least have my rice, whatever if I don't get anything.
So if there's one thing that I've not learned during the lockdown, and I don't think I will learn in future, is cooking.
Cooking.
That is something I'm useless at. I'll be honest and admit
So
it.
there's something you're not good at least. Nice.
Something.
Something.
I'm human now, after all.
I think you should learn it quickly because I think you got engaged recently. I think you should.
I'll just go for a drinks break now.
No.
My drinks break my mouth is dry and I can't speak.
No wonder the glow on his face, no, Smriti?
Yes, no, a lot of glow.
Yeah, glow is always there, yeah.
So I'm sure the girl will want you to cook for her once.
Yeah, there is somebody in my life, but I'll stop at that.
Okay. No, because whenever we type on Google Pankaj Advani, the next thing that comes is wife. So you're getting it.
I know about it because even I very slightly check myself on Google also. So when it says wife, there are many women like somebody who have walked the ramp. I'm not seeing a girl after the fashion show.
True.
I mean, Smriti doesn't have a dearth of male followers. Oh my God, the number of comments. I want to marry you. You look so beautiful. Your smile. Smriti, come on.
Yeah. Come on, Smriti.
Jen,
how do you handle all this attention?
Yeah, I know. The number of male followers she has is crazy.
Yeah.
Smriti? Why did he stop talking? I think he's played it well. He's turned it over to you now, the question.
Yeah, he's turned it
That's
over
the
to you. No, not fair.
I'm very... Now, I'll tell you two girls. Something you must have learned already. But since I'm a little more experienced, a little few years older, maybe 10, 14. Sometimes you have to turn defense into attack.
Right. And this is not a fluke. This is not a fluke.
This is planned.
This is well planned.
Smriti, जनता जानना चाहती है Smriti.
Come on, Smriti.
क्या जानना चाहती है?
The most bizarre proposal you got from a girl.
Someone just texted me saying, "Will you marry sister?" So I was like, "Sister, and will you marry me?" Doesn't go well. So it's not bizarre, but yeah. Otherwise, I think if you meet and they when they say that, "Man, you look very beautiful," it's just very awkward for me because someone talking about batting, you can just take it, like at least in face to face. You can just take it. Okay, thank you. But like beautiful is a bit awkward for me, so I just become like,
thank you for that also.
Okay. No, I say thank you. I don't say that. Oh, go get lost. I don't do that. But yeah, I think it's a bit awkward. I say, but I don't think it's about me.
Honestly say.
So when I read it, it's fun. Of course, when I read it, it's nice. But when someone comes and says it to me, I told you already, right? It's a bit awkward because
the kind of person you are also like. In any sport, it's very important to be, mentally strong. And you have also said that, like your mom calls you like pressure cooker because you always do well under pressure. So like what is the key? Like if somebody young watching it wants to learn the game or, like how do they, handle pressure situations?
The mind is a very complex thing, It can be your best friend. It can be your worst enemy at the same time. Now, when I'm down in a match, there are two things that go through my mind. Okay, fine, maybe I'm about to lose. It's not my day today. Now, how do I come out of that situation? I can either tell myself, okay, no, you know what, fight back, do this, do that. Or I tell myself, okay, fine. If I lose, it's not the end of the world, you know. There are two ways of approaching it. But I've always believed in one thing, that it's never over until it's over. You know, till the
Right.
last shot. Even in cricket, I'm sure so many matches. Imagine there are 50 over games, 20 over games, 120, 300 balls being bowled, and it comes down to that last one ball, or for us maybe that just that last black ball on the table. And you know, we've played for so many frames, and you know it's 7-7 or 5-5, and it's that one last ball. So
Yeah.
there are very different ways of approaching. So some people, like, why do you see sports persons even in cricket or tennis, for example? Some of them, like Federer, are very calm. You know, they bottle it up. They don't let out any expressions and emotions. Some of them, like Nadal, Djokovic, they just, you know, oh. So I prefer to be the calmer one rather than showing my opponent aggression or, you know, saying bad words in the arena or whatever, you know. Because you don't let your opponent know what you're going through.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think the best way to deal with it is to just tell yourself, okay, fine, the worst that could happen is I lose, and I'll always get another chance. So that takes the pressure off you immediately. And one more thing, I'd say never ever concentrate on the result, because
Yeah.
you know, if you're starting off the first ball of your innings, you're not thinking of whether we're going to win the match. You're thinking about that first ball.
First ball.
So I feel living in the present also is very, very important. I
Yeah,
think that's
actually,
perfect.
that takes a lot of pressure off you. Like when you just focus on what you have to do rather than the result, I think that takes a lot of pressure off you.
Totally, and that's where most athletes go wrong, especially when they falter under pressure, is that they jump, or they rather their mind is jump to the result. So that's
Right.
what creates anxiety and pressure of performance when you're thinking about the future or you're dwelling in the past. But when you actually think about what you have to do, as you said, you know, just one goal, one step at a time, life becomes much easier for an athlete.
True.
I think, and recently you had Q Schools by Pankaj Advani, and I think that's a very good way of giving back to the sport. You know, we all dream of, you know, somewhere at some point how we can give back to the sports. Do you go and teach them personally, or what it is like?
Yeah, it's Q Schools by Pankaj Advani is an initiative. I thought, you know, me and my friend started it, Sasha and me, where he runs most of the operations, and I come once in a while, maybe, you know, once in 2 months or something, because I also have my tournaments. I travel a
Yeah.
lot. Of course, not now, and I feel that it's good to get more people interested in the game, to also give them the facilities, because a lot of people say, यार snooker table कहाँ पे मिलता है, हम लोग बाहर जाके बैडमिंटन खेल सकते हैं, क्रिकेट खेल सकते हैं, मैं तो थक गया ये सब सुन के, right? So I said, okay, let's provide them with a facility now. You know, it's time to actually educate the people, coach them, and maybe, who knows, we may be able to create a future star or a champion. On this topic of giving back to the game, I feel we should give back in different ways. You know, like we are fortunate to have shelters and you know our food and our parents and all with us. But there's so many people who are starving right now, suffering, dying, and I feel that whatever way, you know, in small act of kindness or contribution, I feel if we can do, we must do, you know, to make this world a better
That will make a
place.
big difference.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think on a serious note, you've won so many world titles. You've got Arjuna, Padma Shri Award, Padma Bhushan, Khel Ratna. I think there's like, when I will go through the list, I think we'll finish the show. So, but how would you want like people to remember Pankaj Advani?
See, I feel sport is about being fair, you know, about being good ambassador of the sport in your country and all that. So I feel that as long as someone remembers me as a good person and someone who was fair and who helped others, obviously achievements, you know, there'll be great players who come and go, you know, whether it's in the world of tennis, cricket, any sport, you'll have your legends, you'll have great athletes. But someone who, you know, gave back to the sport, someone who, you know, inspired generations of youngsters to take up the sport, I think that's how I'd like to be remembered.
Yeah, true.
I think definitely you have, right? Like billiards and snooker in India is like only one name comes up to us is like Pankaj Advani.
No, there are so many good players out there. Let me tell you, a lot of competitors. But I mean, yeah, everybody takes their own time to achieve. So you will get to hear of many names in the future.
No, even starting the facilities and all, as you said. So people will definitely remember you. And, you know, it was so awesome to have you on our show today. I mean, I got a partner to take Smriti's case, so I love anybody like that. So we should meet soon in Bangalore. But thank you so much for being a part of the show. And, you know, you are just amazing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I loved
Thank you so much.
interacting and chatting with you, and I wish you all the best for your future episodes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the fun part of the show is answering your questions, and we really enjoy it. So here we go. Smriti, what's your first question today?
Yes, James. My first question for today is 10th and 12th standard में कितने percentage थे?
सच्ची बोला.
Yeah, I think I had in 10th standard I had 86, and in 12th I got around 70, 72.
Wow.
Yeah.
Multi-talented.
10th standard में that was a very funny story. I had 86.63 and I called up my mom. I was in net cafe. I checked it. I said, "Mummy, मुझे 86.63 मिले." He said, "Oh, 63, nice, yeah. How good percentage that is." I was like, "Mummy, 86.63." And she's like, "कुछ भी बोल, दूसरे के देख के आई होगी."
No, but I think that's nice. That's the best example of sports and studies like going together. So Smriti, you're an inspiration to many. Well done. Okay, so my question is from Saurabh. तुम इतनी overacting क्यों करती हो? मैं और overacting? धुडुम कभी नहीं. Okay. Next question, Smriti.
Okay, so yeah, second question for me is from Malay. What you are missing the most in lockdown? I think
Jemmy, yay!
Today I'm actually happy about it that I don't have to meet Jemmy. But no, actually on serious note, just the thing of going out and just like everything you started valuing a lot in life, like small things. But most is maybe batting, because batting in nets, that's what gets a smile on I think all the cricketers' face, whoever are batters. So yeah, I think batting is the thing which I miss the most in this lockdown. And I think just the nervousness that you get before the match, that feeling, that feeling is not there. So yeah,
Right.
one thing is a major missing.
Okay, so my question is from Viraj. Would you insist girls and women to play sports? I mean, definitely. Like, why not? If you have the desire and it's your dream to take up sports, I think you should go ahead. And not just in sport. I think anything. Like, if it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Now, this really doesn't matter. If you really have the desire and the passion to it, I think you should just go ahead with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. So this is Lil J and Smriti Mandana signing off.